Start, Brandon. Hi. What would a healthy season mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, last year obviously didn't go the way I wanted, and I think injuries sometimes are just kind of out of your control. Not much you can do to prevent them. I think you prepare your body for the season and hope that you're kind of in tip-top shape for a long haul, and sometimes it doesn't go your way. So I had a good summer, and I'm feeling good now, so I'm ready to get after it.
When you play as little as you did last year, I mean, does it just feel like you haven't played a ton of hockey in basically a year and a half?
Yeah. I think I think every summer you miss time, you take a couple months off of skating or whatever it is, and you get back, you're pretty rusty, and I think it only takes a few weeks to feel that way. So I haven't played since February, so it is a long time, but like I said, I feel pretty good. I've been skating a lot this summer, probably more than I usually do for sure, and just looking forward to get back in the swing of things, and just getting ready, to I guess compete again, and you definitely miss playing in games and watching the guys down the stretch last year and watching playoffs and stuff like that. You just miss playing, so looking forward to getting back out there.
Brandon, the sports hernia is such an unfair injury. It's from skating. Like any nervousness, coming back off something like that.
No, not this time. The first time I had it, the other side was much tougher. I think I had just less experience with it, and this time I kind of knew what to expect, and did some things kind of the same and did a few things differently, and just tried to see what works best for me, and right now I feel pretty good. So I think now I'm hopefully kind of over that hernia hump.
For JT and Tyler, first of all, welcome. It seems like there's a lot of optimism from the fan base anyway about the team this season. You're both coming from teams that made the playoffs last year. What are your feelings coming in?
Very excited. I had the summer to kind of get settled coming into a new team. Last time I made a switch, it was a lot more hectic mid-season, so made it easy that way. I think if you look at the team we have, the additions we made this summer, balances out some young guys with some veteran guys. I think that was important for this team to get, and I think we did that. And it's exciting for us as players to to see the upswing this team is on, and to try and take it to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely been a busy summer for the family, but like he said, have the whole summer to get prepared is nice, and I think the biggest thing is how well-rounded the team is now. Obviously bringing in guys like him and Jordy for back on D, I think that's great, especially with the veteran leadership, and just going to add to the leadership already. And then obviously as a guy on another team, you see how much young talent that this team had and how hard they were to play against last year. So I'm really excited to bring to the table what I can and get everything going here.
Miller, you're coming from a team that had a lot of offensive depth that maybe bumped you down the lineup a little bit at times. How do you feel coming into this team where it looks like you're going to get an opportunity in a more offensive role playing on the top two lines?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously everybody wants to play a lot, but last year you kind of understand there's a role to be filled, and we had a really good team during the regular season. So it was something I accepted, and you got to take in stride and do the best you can with that. But I don't know how everything's going to play out here so far, but I'm just trying to have a good start to the season and put my the right foot forward, and whoever I end up playing with, it's just got to take that as an opportunity and try to make the most of that.
Have you had a chance to meet or skate with Pettersson or Horvat at all heading into training camp?
Yeah, a couple practices with them last week. So other than that, that was it.
What was it like meeting them for first time there?
I don't know, we said hello, and then we went and practiced. It was cool. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of the way they play. I like their games a lot, especially Bo. The last couple of years, he's an unreal leader. As such a young guy, it seems like now, and obviously the year that Petey had last year was unreal. So to see it up close is pretty special. So I'm excited to get going.
JT, what do you think you can bring to the team, and what are you most looking forward to this season?
Well, I'm looking forward to a fresh start and obviously a new organization. It's always exciting. I've been traded twice now, and I think that this one is it's much different for me. First time in the West. It's going to be a completely different experience, and I think for what I can bring to the table is I can play up and down the lineup. I think that I've always been able to do that and can fill in at either center or wing, and just try to play physical and make a play when I get a chance, and try to be hard on pucks and just play my game. I think the more consistently and more often I can just play my game, I think that's when I'm benefited.
Chris, just your thoughts on the potential of the defensive group this year with Tyler and Jordy coming in and then having Quinn full-time for his first season in the league.
Yeah, I'm super excited. When everything happened this summer, I think a lot of the guys who've been here for a little bit, we were all texting each other, super excited at bringing in Mizey and Benner and Furls and Millsy, and obviously we know Quinn played the end of the year last year, and I think those additions are huge. I mean, everyone here is really excited, and I think we're going to have a good year.
What will that added depth mean for you guys in particular on the back end?
Well, I think we're a more rounded D crew for sure. I mean, I think we have 6, 7, 8 guys now who can play and play in all situations. So I think we're going to be a lot better. We're going to be a lot harder to play against, and I think it's going to be a huge difference.
Chris, there's been some suggestion that maybe you pair up with Quinn and try to, I don't want to say insulate, but just kind of work with him and make sure the defensive end is kind of taken care of and let him do his thing. I mean, do you think that's a good fit for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously willing to play with whoever, left, right, whoever. But if I am with Quinn, he's obviously a tremendous player, and we saw that at the end of the year last year, how mobile he is, how he moves the puck, and it'll be a huge honor to play with him.
JT, you'd mentioned that you can play anywhere up and down the lineup, and there's been some debate about whether you could potentially fill in as a more offensive center down the lineup or play next to Bo on the wing. I know they wanted to bring in a guy that could provide him with some offensive support. What works best for you?
I've played a lot more wing in the NHL. I think pre-NHL and in the minors, I played pretty much all center, and I was always seem to be the guy when someone would get hurt or they did big shake up in the lineup. That's when I would go to the middle. I have a lot of comfort level there, but I definitely think that I'm naturally more comfortable playing wing just because I've done it more at the higher level. So, but I think it's a pretty seamless transition for me when I'm asked to play center. When playing wing, I take a lot of face-offs still, so I'm very used to that position. I'm very used to a situation like, when you lose a face-off in the D zone, now you're playing center in the D zone, which is the most demanding part, I think, playing center. So I think I'm used to both situations, but I think more comfortable in the wing.
Brandon, you've talked about really liking a defensive role. You joked about Pettersson and Besser scoring all the goals. Do you think that you can still provide that offense in a depth role and provide the depth scoring that this team needs?
Yeah, I do. I think it's kind of been my role pretty much most of my career was to be a good two-way player, and I think you want to make sure you're doing the right things defensively, but to be really a threat, you want to be able to create offense too, and that's definitely some nights it's more challenging than others for sure, but just step in and play wherever you're asked, and hopefully kind of bring that solid two-way game.
With the more offensive wingers that have been added over the past year and in this off season, do you feel like now there is more depth on the wing that can help you provide more offense in a third-line role?
Well, I just think our team's just deeper in general. I think, we have 14, 15, 16 guys that can play up front, and we've seen injuries, it's kind of nonstop in this league, and you want guys that can fill in and play, and you don't want to see things drop off when they do happen. So I think, for myself, again, I don't know who I'll be playing with or how it'll look, but just looking forward to helping out where I can. And again, I think our team's just deeper, so whoever you're playing with, it's going to be a pretty good mix, and just excited to get it going.
JT, you mentioned that this is your first time playing in the Western Conference. I'm wondering if you think you'll have to prepare differently for the grind of the additional travel and such, and what your thoughts are on the different playing styles between the East and the West.
Well, I think the last couple of years the game's kind of changing to just so much speed and skill pretty much around the league, but my first couple of years it's playing in the West is just from talking to guys that have done it is definitely they seem more demanding and more playoff style and big and heavy games, so that's what I anticipate. And as for the travel and the schedule, I think the transition to Tampa last year was kind of eye-opening, because even from there was pretty much a 2-hour flight everywhere, which kind of prepared me for this, I guess. So I just think it'll come naturally. I mean, I got a lot of guys here that are going to help me out with that if I need any advice, but I think just making sure you're rested up and ready to go, because every flight's going to be a little longer, and I think it, hopefully looking for like a seamless change.